gentle good morning stretch. So take a second just to feel your feet connected to the ground. Take your arms up above your head. Hook your thumbs if you can above your head. A little tug on the thumbs. And then as you inhale, stretch like you're taking a nice big yawn. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Get that nice energy going up to the fingers all the way down to your feet. Take that one last second to feel your feet connected to the ground. And then let it go. And now we're just going to start by walking on the heels. Super simple, but grounding. We want to feel like our toes are in that slight dorsiflex position. And then we're just walking. And if that feels good, then you're going to walk it forward and back, but only if that feels nice and manageable. For some of us, it's just going to feel better to stay steady. Just the toes and the balls of feet. Hi, Liz. Liz, good morning. This morning we need a washcloth. So get a washcloth and your stretchy looping resistance band. All right, so this bit of work, when we're walking on our heels have this really nice, thick, dense, shock-absorbing material, fascia, collagen, fatty tissue, and it's also a power booster. So we want our heels to be really nice and alive. All right, now for everybody who feels good about it, walking on the blade edges of the feet now. So we lift up the inside of the feet and we're just taking a little walk on the blade edges. Our blade edges of our feet also have that nice, thick, dense fascia, but they're also proprioceptors. So they help us with our body balance. Where is your body in connection to the space that you work in? So take one more moment just to feel that nice, good aliveness into the blade edges of your feet. All right, that's time. Set your feet down. All right, now we're going to take our washcloth and we're going to fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half. You're going to make it into the tiniest little square. And then once you've got the tiniest little square, you're going to put your little square washcloth between your heels and your ankles. Make a little pizza slice. And then once you've got your little pizza slice, you're going to take some heel raises. Now, this is one of those places where we want to stay like we're tuck our bum, firm belly, nice axial elongation through the spine. It's not for me about how crazy high you get those heels to raise, but it's all about that connection with everything else in between. So we're holding the towel in place between our heels and our ankles. We're lifting up and lowering down. And I want you to think zip up through the center line as if you're zipping from the towel all the way up to the crown of your head. So slow and steady. So you feel that good zipped up work happening. You want to feel like your inner thighs are kind of squeezing in. Some of the work does want a little bit of balance. So if putting yourself near a wall, putting yourself near a chair, any of those little things, so you get that nice feeling of connection. Sometimes just being near something, so you think it's going to hold your frame, is just the thing that your proprioception needs. We got 5 seconds left. We're going to keep that little roll between our ankles, and now we're going into a little demi-plie. So you're just going to bend your knees and straighten. Same idea though. We want to keep that tucked bum. We want to keep that nice elongated spine. Nothing's hinging forward as we go. Just a little bend of the knees and then a little come back up. So keep your chest upright. Imagine somebody's tied a string to the top of your head. So you're lengthening upward as your knees bend. Slow and steady. And then if you can for this one, get a little breath coordination. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale to return. So when we're talking about our nervous system in regards to our movement practice, exercise, and our yoga, we want to make sure that our nervous system feels safe. So oftentimes, if you haven't had a good night's rest, if your nourishment has a little bit been wiggly, for some of us, if we're on some sort of medications, any of those little things that might play with our nervous system, we want to make sure that we tune in on the days where we feel regular. So you know what your normal balance feels like, and then you can come back around to making little adjustments when days are off, when you didn't get enough rest, when you're in recovery, when you're in a flare-up, if you have any autoimmune stuff going on. We got 5 seconds left. All right, that's time. Grab that towel out from underneath you. Now we're going to do a little tippy toe walking. Now, tippy toe walking could be you sitting in a chair and putting your toes into connection with the ground, or it can be lifting your heels up and doing a proper tippy toe walk. And you're going to walk on your toes as much as you can. Walk yourself forward and back. For some of us, it could just be coming up to find the toes, do a little step, step, and land it back down. So go for the work that feels available today. Then anybody who wants the big challenge, in about 10 seconds, we're going to switch into a slight squatted position. You're going to still maintain that tippy toe walking pattern, but now you're going to see if you can bring your butt down a little bit, keep your chest and chin lifted, tippy toe walk forward, stay in that little bit of a squat. Notice where the work comes out of your legs a little bit more now, but we still want that nice upright spine. Five seconds left. Now we're going to get our toes into extension for the next bit of work, and we're going to be holding a 45-degree lean. So when we go into our 45-degree, we're going to be in that forward position. We shift our weight slightly into our toes, but we're going to roll up our yoga mat just a touch so that you can get your toes into extension. So take a second, roll up your mat just enough that you can get your toes so that they're up in extension. They feel like they're just in that slight lifted position. Once you've got your way there, you can load up, hold a weight at your chest, or you can go hands-free. It's just going to be what feels available. Hinge forward, lift the arches of your feet, hold in that 45-degree position. And it's not like we don't get slack here. So we want to think about reaching energy from tailbone to the top of the head. And then if you want a slightly bigger challenge, arms are going to open out into T position, reach energy out through your arms, but we're going to try not to let our chest puff up and our arch back. So we want to keep that nice bit of length, energy reaching out in all four directions now, slightly shifted forward so you feel a little bit of weight into the balls of your feet. Slow, steady breath. You're already halfway there. Ten more seconds. Keep a little bit of energy into your back body. Notice your ribs, notice your belly, a slight sense of firmness in your abdomen. Beautiful. All right, that's time. Bend your knees, push down into your feet, come up nice and slow. Give a second, shrug out the shoulders, roll your yoga mat back to a nice normal position. All right, now hand hold if you want to. It's going to be 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. We're going to go knee drive to the front, knee out to the side, knee comes behind. When we go into that behind position, think knee turned out, squeezing the butt muscles. So you want to think, for my ballet friends, a little rear attitude. So we want a slight abduction of the leg, like your knee is reaching towards the back corner of your mat. So knee to the front, knee out to the side, knee to the back. Notice your torso. We want to keep a nice upright torso as we go. So no shifting our chest forward. It's not about how high your leg goes. It's about how controlled you go. So knee out to the side, knee to the front, knee to the back. Chest stays upright the whole entire time. Beautiful work. Five seconds left on this side. All right, when you're ready, spin yourself around. When we're holding on to our balance partner, you want a light touch. You want to be mostly holding yourself up, and then the wall is there to offer proprioception, but we're not death gripping on the wall. So find your gentle touch, let it help you in that proprioception, and then we go knee to the front, knee out to the side, knee out back to the side. You've got it. Ten seconds left. And time. Nicely done. All right, now we're going to stand on our yoga block and we're going to do a hip dip. I'm going to face you so that you can see the hip dip, and then I'll probably turn myself so I can hold on to a wall. So you're going to put your yoga block so it's long ways, low setting, so your foot can land on the block. And then you're going to be in a single leg stance. Hands are going to be on the hips so you can feel it. You do a little dip. So it's the leg that's on the block stays straight. You're dipping your hip. So you almost want to think like the knee that's in that lifted position, it's trying to reach down past your standing knee and then come back up. So think about your front pockets of your jeans and you're just shifting one down and one up. The standing leg stays relatively straight. We're going 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. Use your wall, let it be your friend. Just a light touch, and then we're dipping. And then you want to keep your eyes forward on the horizon, and you want to think about this connection from your foot to your knee, to your hip, to your shoulders, to your jaw. Check in, make sure you're not clenching your jaw as you go, best you can. And then hopefully here, you'll feel that work happening on that grounded leg in your hip. We got 2 seconds left. All right, when you're ready, switch yourself around, get grounded on your block, make sure it feels good and balanced underneath you. We bend the knee and then we start to dip, and you want to feel like your standing leg on the block stays relatively straight. You're dropping that front pocket of the jeans down, or knee goes past the knee and then it hikes back up. We got 30 seconds on this side. Once you know where you're going, you want to think ears in line with the shoulders, shoulders in line with the hips, hips in line with your heels, straight forward head position, eyes forward, and you're not clenching your jaw best you can. 10 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. All right, take a second, come off. Woo, do the Elvis asana. Shake out your hips, give them a good shake, shake, shake. And now we're going to grab our towel and we're doing a towel slam and a toe pickup, and we're going to alternate sides. So you're going to imagine that you've made yourself into a little square and your body is going to roughly try not to leave that square. You're going to take your towel, slam it down on the ground, reach out with your foot, grab and pick it up best you can. And then if you can't grab and pick it up with your toes, if your toes are like, that's problematic, you're going to do the grab maneuver, scrunch up the toes, pick it up with your hand, slam it down on the other side. Try not to leave your space. So if the towel goes a little far, then you've got to do that little fascial reach. So you want to go give yourself that little touch of challenge, pick it up, slam it down, alternate sides. We got 1 minute on the clock and you're taking this work at your pace. Again, if your toes can't pick up the towel, do the action, grab it with your hand, slam it down, do the action with the other foot, pick it up with your hand, slam it down. For funsies, though, it is kind of nice to get that good slam down. So definitely want to get that in because it's nice. Feels good on a Monday to throw some things down on the ground. And time. Nicely done. All right, now hold on to your towel. You're going to get just the corners of it so you get a little bit of length, and you're going to hold on to that length and you're going to pull it apart with a little tug. And you want to feel like there's a little firmness that comes into your armpit chest. Now we're going to go down into a nice squat, pull on that towel, come back up nice and slow. As you go, you're going to inhale as you go down, bring that towel up in front of your chest. Exhale as you push into your feet to return. Nice and slow, a little tug on the towel. But then you're going to notice your feet. If, like me, I have a tendency towards fallen arches, so I have to get a good spread of my toes. I have to lift my arches. I push out into the blade edges of my feet. Don't let my knees collapse in as I go down. Nice. Inhale as you go down and exhale as you return. Go for 3 more if you can. All right, now we're going to adjust our squat position, come into a more sumo style. So turn the toes out, get a little bit wider in your stance, come down nice and low, stay in that low position, re-grab those ends of the towel, keep that tension. And now we're going heel lift, double heel lift. Alternate between the 3 spaces, heel, single heel, double heel. You've got it. And then go back to that point of making an awareness of our nervous system. You always want to move at the speed of trust. So you want to move in a way that your body feels strong, confident in the movement that it's doing, that you can be aware of any wobbliness and little micro changes, little course corrections as you go. Nice. Go one more time through if you can. We're going to come down onto our back. So anybody likes that back blanket, you're going to put that back blanket behind you. Woo, come up, give your legs a little shake. Now, as we come down, you're going to want your towel. You're going to want your looping resistance band. You're going to want your yoga block. We're coming down onto our back, supine position. You're going to take your yoga block skinny setting. It's going to go between your knees. We're going to do hip rotation, heel tap. So as you're down on your back, right away, you're going to dorsiflex your feet. Back of your rib cage is going to anchor down into the ground. I played with this morning. If you're like, I just want something that makes me focus on keeping the back of the rib cage anchored down on the ground, you're going to take your towel, you're going to find that low end of your rib cage, and you're just going to put it there. It's flat. You won't even be able to feel it, but you're going to know that it's there. And you're going to imagine that the entire time that you're on the ground, you're trying to keep that little towel pinned to the ground with the back of your rib cage. Now, dorsiflex your feet, double knee lift, hip rotation, swing the feet out, swing the feet back in, lower your feet back down to the ground, keep that towel pinned to the earth. We've got 1 minute on the clock. That's the work. You're going to keep your feet in that dorsiflex position, lift up, swing the feet out. There's your hip rotation, swing them back in, rib cage anchors, heels tap the ground. Slow and steady. Use your exhalation to support the efforted work. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Move the block out of the way. Now we're going to grab our looping resistance band. It's going to go around our feet. So you're going to take your stretchy mean resistance band, put it around the center of your feet. And now we're going into our hip rotations. So we're going to come all the way down onto our back legs nice and long. This one is about strength in the hips and mobility in the hips. So we do that external rotation. When we do this external rotation, we keep our feet in a slight flexed position and we turn the toes out. You want to feel like somewhere up here, the tops of your thighs, your TFL, side of your butt, maybe just a touch. That's where you're going to feel a little bit of work going on. So hands on, if you like that palpation, so you know you're driving the car from the right place. A light flex in the feet. We turn out, hold for a moment, come back in with good control. So we don't let the band snap us back in. We rotate out and rotate in with resistance. Check your head position. You just want to make sure you've got a nice lengthy back of your neck and your eyes are up on the horizon, gazing at the ceiling above you. When you hit those points of fatigue, better to take a rest than compromise good positioning. So if you got to a point where your hips are getting a little fatigued, so you start thrusting your rib cage up, I'd rather you take a break for a second, rest, and then come back in versus finding bad form just to get it done for the full minute. All right, take a second, relax. If you've got your towel underneath you, grab it. Now we're going to go into some roll-ups. You're going to keep the band around your feet. You're going to grab your towel, hold the corners, a little tug. Inhale, arms come up above your head. Exhale, arms up towards the ceiling, cervical nod, lift the sternum, reaching towards the feet. Some of us like to bend the knees because we have tight hamstrings, so go where it feels good. And then slow roll your way down, nice and slow. And as you go, tug on that towel. Inhale, arms go up above your head. Exhale, arms up, cervical nod, sternum picks up, reach towards your toes. Beautiful work. Slow return to the ground. Keep a little tug on that towel and keep your feet cemented, pressing out into the band around your feet. All right, now the next time you come down, you're going to keep that band around your feet. You're coming back to that supine position, and now you're doing some work with your hip flexor. So now we're going to start to alternate, drive one knee up and then the other. Now here's one of those really great places where if you've got a very fleshy butt, you might like that blanket behind your back so it kind of holds that curve around your butt and your lumbar spine. If you have a tender tailbone, same thing. If you have a tendency to want to puff up your chest, use your hips and your belly muscles to use the hip flexors, take a second, keep that rib cage nice and anchored down. Possibly some of us put the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down, almost as if you're trying to drive the knees up to tap your hands. Slow, steady work, working with resistance of the band. So we pull up, find that edge of tension, and we don't let the band snap us back down. We release the leg long with control. And time. Nicely done. All right, take a second. Move that band out from around your feet, wide hip bridge position with feet and dorsiflexion. So walk your heels in so they're nice and close to the butt, and then step them out a little bit wide. Pick up your toes and the balls of the feet. Arms are going to fly right up in front of the chest, and then we're taking it into our hip bridges. Exhale, lift up your butt and squeeze. Inhale to return. Since it's unloaded, if it feels good, if you like a little bit of a dynamic pace, go as speedy as you want to, but make sure you're in good control. Keep in mind that idea again of moving at the speed of trust, where you're confident in your movements, you feel like you keep good form, you notice your breath. All right, that's time. Grab your yoga block. Yoga block is going to come right back in between the knees. Reverse table position. I'll say go skinny setting, probably for most of our hip sets. Skinny setting with that yoga block. Arms are going to come out like your anchors, and you're going to think blade edge or your pinky edge of your hand gently anchored down to the ground. We're going to win bent knee corkscrew. So you're going to tip over to the right, scoop the bottom half of the circle, come into center, switch over to the other side, tip over to the left, scoop that bottom half of the circle, and back to center. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take your time. Use your breath to help support the movement. Notice your head position. If you feel like you're looking up at the corner of your ceiling, tuck your chin just slightly so you're looking at the ceiling directly above you. And then for any of us who have that tendency to want to puff up the chest or flare up the ribs, keep that back end of your rib cage nicely anchored down into the ground. It might reduce range of motion, but it might also feel like you get a little bit more quality work going on. All right, that's time. Grab your block. Now we're going into a single leg hip bridge work. So you're going to take your yoga block, go long setting, short, short but long, so it lands on your foot. We're going to add a little combo with the arms. So you're going to lift up into your hip bridge. And as you lift up, your arms are going to come up above your head. And as you lower down, arms return in front of the chest. Exhale, push into your foot, arms come up, leg goes higher. Inhale as you lower down. We got 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. Using the arms like that does create a bigger challenge. So if you get there and you're like wiggling and wobbling all over the place, anchor your elbows down, get some good control, get your butt muscles and your hamstring muscles to be the support team. And then eventually, once those guys are nice and strong, then we throw the arms back up. Go for one more up and down. And then the next time you lower down, set your foot down, switch, move the block over to the other foot, get it positioned nicely. And then once you've got a good foot position where you can come up and down, arms up if you like that challenge. Exhale, push into your foot, lift up, arms go up. And then as you inhale, arms return and the butt goes down. All right, that's time. Take a second, lower yourself down. Now you're going to take your yoga block, you're going to go medium setting. So it's going to come between your knees. We're going back up into a hip bridge position, but we're going to hold the bridge and then do some footwork. So you're going to put that yoga block so it's medium setting between your knees. Lift your butt up, you're staying there. Lift your toes and the balls of the feet, lift your heels. And then that's the work. You're going to stay in that lifted position, alternating between the two. For some of us, though, footwork is just a play with what feels comfortable. So maybe it's just one, maybe it's both feet landed on the ground and you're just working the toes, get the toes into a little extension and lower. So go where you feel like some footwork feels good. You still feel confident. You feel stable in your position. You want to make sure you're breathing comfortably in and out through your nose best you can. 5 seconds left. Woo, and time. Lower down nice and slow. Grab that yoga block. Now we're doing the bottom half of the Turkish get up, alternating sides with the little pass to the block on the up position. So left arm loaded, left knee bent, right leg long, right arm out to your side. Use your exhale. You're going to exhale, look to that yoga block, come up. And as you switch, you're going to do a little pass underneath your knee as you bend to bring it in. Set yourself up to the other side, lower back down. Use your breath. Exhale, come up. As you switch legs, a little pass underneath, switch, and then lower down. You've got it. Gentle coordination, a lot of good core work. So we want to use a good breath support to go along the way. The big challenge is looking to that block in the sky the whole entire time. All right, and the next time you come up to seated position, stay there. Now we're gonna do a little bit of a variation of our Pilates spinal twist, but you're gonna take your yoga block, it's gonna be your little seat. So you're gonna sit your butt onto your yoga block, and then you're gonna take a second to adjust. So you wanna make it so that you could sit in a nice upright spine position. Then if you like, you're gonna take your looping resistance band, and it's going to go back around the center of your feet. And it's more about holding and finding some decent tension in the legs so you feel really nice and sturdy. So you're going to walk your legs out so they're slightly wider than shoulder width distance apart, a nice bend in the knees, and a nice good intentional flex of the foot. Arms are going to come out nice and wide. We're going to inhale as we rotate. So inhale, stretch through your arms, twist to one side, stay nice and tall in your spine. Exhale, return to center, and you want to feel like your butt is cemented on the block underneath you. Your legs are cemented in space, and you're intentionally rotating your spine with the breath. Exhale as you come through center. Inhale, we reach out through the fingertips and rotate. Take one more rotation to each side or even yourself out. And then when you're ready, slowly and carefully release that band from your feet. We're going to hop off of our block into a figure four, and then we're going to tip our figure four back and do a little tiny bit of rotation with it. So come down seated or onto your back, get one leg up into that low figure four position. For some of us, that's already enough, and you just stay there and you breathe. If that feels good, lift up to that middle space, not too close, not too far. Find the middle space. And then if the right knee is slightly over, if the right knee is across, you're going to reach as if you're trying to tip your right knee towards the low end of your left rib. So just a slight touch of rotation. And all you want to do is look for that feeling where it kind of tugs into that butt muscle, and then hang there for a second and notice your breath. All right, slowly return to center, float down, uncross to recross. Now left leg is going to come across the right. Start in the low position, check in there, because for some of us, that's already enough. If that feels good and you want more, you lift up and you're looking for that middle space, not too close, not too far. Find a little touch of sensation. Now think about your left knee and imagine you're just trying to slightly bring that left knee towards the low end of your right ribs. And then you do this little micro adjust. So everybody's shape will feel a little bit different. You just want to feel like there's a little stretch that comes down into your left butt, hip area. And you're just looking to see what you can find. Hold that little stretchy feeling of tension, slow, steady breath. Slow release back to center, uncross your legs, step your feet out nice and wide. Take some windshield wipers, swish your knees from side to side. One more swish from side to side. We'll do one seated forward fold just to get a nice stretch through the back line of the body. And then if you're sticking around, we're going to grab our massage balls. We're going to take them out of the net so we can do one high, one low. And then when we come up, there will be, and I'll say that have your Pilates ball nearby as an alternate for any of those places where it's like you put that massage ball in place and you're like instantly like, ah. So if, just have a softer tool nearby so that it feels like a good thing. And then if you're not sticking around, just so you get that last little forward fold, sit up nice and tall, walk your sits bones back just a touch, put a big bend in the knees, and then reach towards your toes. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. We just want to reach towards them, get a little light feeling of stretch into your low back and a little feeling of compression of breath so you can breathe into the back of your rib cage and down into your low back. Some of the work that we'll do in the next half hour, we'll do a little bit of abdominal vacuum work or preparatory movement for the abdominal vacuum. If the vacuum's not for you, don't worry about that. We do the stuff we like. We skip the stuff we don't around here. All right, so we're going to start by coming down onto our back. We're going to go, one ball is going to be up into that shoulder blade area between the shoulder blade and the spine. And then one ball is going to come low, think kind of no man's land-ish area. You're going to find what you'll shoot for is finding a spot that feels like one high, one low, put you in a little tilted position, and then you'll just shoot for a rough symmetry when we go onto the other side. So you're going to come down, see what you can land on, do all the little wiggles and adjusts. Ask yourself if you can open your arms nice and wide. Can you get a little bit of movement? So for me, I've got my right side high, left side low. So the high side, that arm is going to just do a little hover. So you're just going to pick up and hover and let the hand touch the ground, just looking for that first initial start point where you can find a little touch of movement. And then if you're moving the right side and it feels good, then you're going to do both sides. You're just going to get them into a little lift. And as you lift that unmassaged bald side, you're going to feel like there's just that slight and subtle imbalance. So you got to create and adjust a little bit of that adjustment in your center so you feel sturdy and steady. All right, now low side arm is going to touch back down to the ground. High side arm is going to take it into some snow angels, and you're going to go nice and slow, moving the arm up and down. You might widen your feet just a little bit so that the feet give a little extra bit of support. And now the right arm is going to conduct the orchestra. So you're drawing the hugest figure 8 pattern that you can with a little palm flip and rotation. So as you go down, your palm faces down, and then maybe as you come up, the palm faces up. So you're going to look for a little touch of rotation, big sweeping movement of the arm. All right, now that high arm is going to go back out to that open T position and just some head turns. You're going to take as much range of motion in your head turn as you can find. Big turn of your head from side to side. One more big turn of your head from side to side, and then low knee. Left knee is going to come in and up and down. Just a little bit of movement coming up and down. And then high arm just adjusts so everything feels good. So you feel like you can withstand that slight subtle change of pressure that happens and everything feels like it's moving in a functional way and you're not on any bony prominences because sometimes when you move around the balls move too. So make sure that upper ball feels comfortable enough. Take 1 or 2 more knee drives. And then low leg is going to touch down, butterfly flap. One more butterfly flap, and then legs in constructive rest, arms in resting position. Take a second just to let everything soften for a moment. Let your back muscles soften, let your armpit chest soften, let your jaw soften. Take a nice big breath. One more breath, and then you're going to slow roll off so you can switch to the other side. So you're going to shoot for a rough symmetry. So for me, I can just like pick up, slide that low ball over to the other side, and then tuck the other one into that shoulder blade area, and then shoot for that rough symmetry, do the little wiggles so everything feels good. Make sure you can breathe comfortably. Adjust. So you've got your Pilates ball nearby. So if you get to a point where it's like, oh, my left shoulder can't stand that, use the Pilates ball. It'll give a little bit of that softness, but you still get that work that goes on. Once you feel like you're there, you're just going to see if you can get the high high side to do that little arm lift. So just a little bit up and down with the hover position. And then add low side as well. So both arms come up and down in that hover. And then you notice right away, you get that little tiny grip in your center because it wants to adjust so that you feel stable and centered. One more up and down with both. Low arm is going to come back down. High arm is going to start to find a snow angel, moving up and down, finding whatever range of motion feels available, not forcing, but just finding a path that feels good and then maybe slowly letting it increase. Go for one or two more snow angels, and then when you're ready, take it into big conduct the orchestra. So you're going to take that arm and you're just going to do a nice big figure eight pattern, big swooping circles with some shoulder rotation. So palm flips down, palm flips up, and whatever way that your shoulder wants to sort of normally and naturally orientate, but you're shooting for as much big range of motion here as you can find. Lovely. Take one more big conduction of the orchestra and then let that arm come back out, back to T position. Now take it into your low side leg, knee comes up and down. Nice. One more knee up and down, and then foot goes down into half butterfly. Open that knee out and come back up. Lovely. Take one more moment in and out. And then back to constructive rest just for a second. Let the knees drop into each other. Let everything soften and settle for a moment. Just take a nice big breath. All right, we're going to slowly come off, and then we're going to move up to upper traps. So we want our massage balls best if we can, just because they're so nice and firm. So think upper traps are just like if you put your fingers over the top of your shoulder where your forefingers, where we're going to try to get our balls to land. So you're going to find your location, come down one at a time, get those balls in place. Do the little snuggle and readjust, get everything happily in a place that feels good, where you feel a little bit of that upward lift of those upper traps. They feel like they're kind of just being held up against the ball. Arms are going to come out, think low A frame, maybe somewhere between 45 degrees in the T. And then you're going to do some head turns. Small, gentle motion, turn your head from side to side. Now we've done a lot of hip bridging today. So if the hip bridging doesn't feel good, choose your own adventure, or you might choose to come up in a lifted position and then slide your yoga block or your Pilates ball underneath your butt. So you're going to see how it feels to just kind of come up into a nice gentle lift and then down. And it's more about finding that body weight that comes up into the upper traps, up against the ball, and then comes back down. So it's not about how high your bridge can go. It's like if it feels good to come up and down, do the up and down. If it feels good to go up, go up and stay up. If it feels good to go up and then put the yoga block underneath you so you get that nice body weight position, but you don't have to do any more effort in your butt and your hamstrings. Shoot for the work that feels good right now. Take a few more moments just to see what shows up. All right, one more up and down, or take the block out from underneath you, lower down, and then your arms are going to come in alongside your hips a little bit, and you're going to do little shoulder shrugs, like you're just trying to hike your shoulders up to your ears and then depress your shoulders down. Or think shoulders up to the ears, fingertips to the heels. So you get the up motion and that depressive motion. But notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. You always want to make sure that you're breathing comfortably. You can invite softness into anywhere where tension might show up. Take one or two more shrugs of the shoulders, and now we're going to move it up so that it comes underneath our head and into that occipital ridge area. So grab the balls, take a second just to notice that sweet little release when you take them out from underneath you. Hand hold, lift your head, place the balls right up against that occipital ridge, that nice bony prominence at the back of your skull. So you're going to get the balls there. I like to hold them in place. I think that's just the most convenient way. But if your shoulders don't like that, get them where they can land, and then maybe slight reduction of movement. Shoot for what feels good. Little gentle nod of the head up and down. One more little gentle nod up and down, and then little micro circles, like you're drawing a little 1 inch circle or even a 1 centimeter circle with the tip of your nose. So your head takes the soft, slow circular movement. And then if it feels good going in one direction, reverse, go the other way. One more circle around, and then we're just moving them out just a touch. So move them a little closer to your ears, but you're still in that occipital ridge area. And then once you've got your way there, little micro head turns, hold the balls in place. And you almost want to feel like when you hold the balls in place, that it kind of wiggles your skull cap a little bit. As you turn your head, you feel a little squish of the skin and connective tissue. All right, one more turn of your head from side to side, and then a little cervical nod. Lift your head up, release the balls out from underneath you. Keep the back of your neck long if you can. Now we're going to go one ball at a time. So now we're going to work into the diaphragm. We're going to do a little diaphragm release. We're going to use the ball to massage along the low curve of the ribs, and then we're going to find a good rib cage breath, and then we're going to see if we can shoot for an abdominal vacuum. So start by just taking the ball into the hand, think right curve of the ribs, and you're going to go from the xiphoid process ish down to the low curve. So you're going to walk that ball along the curve in whatever way makes good sense. I kind of do like a little finger push and manipulation so that I can kind of creep it along. You want to feel like you're inviting a sense of slack underneath your ribs. So soft abdominal muscles, no tensing up, no firming up, no bracing the abdomen. You want to think not pulling the belly button towards the spine, but just letting it be as loosey-goosey as you can. I sometimes, when I'm shooting for my abdominal vacuum and I feel like I can't get it because it's like too tense, then I just put my hand on and I jiggle the fat of my belly to encourage that softness. So let your belly just be as soft as it can be. Roll that ball up and down and shoot for as much slack as your fingers can press. because we're not perfectly symmetrical. Sometimes we might hold tension one side of our hips. We might hold tension one side of our diaphragm. We might hold tension one side of our shoulders. We might hold tension one side of our jaw. One side might be slack. One side might be tight. We have all sorts of little subtle things that might show up. So don't worry about it being perfectly symmetrical. We just see what we notice when we do our work. All right, take one more roll around that side of the curve of the ribs and then take it over to the other side. Left side curve. Start to smooth that ball up and down the curve, looking for a little bit of slack and give underneath the ribs. Notice if you lost that length into the back of your neck. Can you put a little bit more length into the back of your neck so it starts to feel like your eyes are fixed on the ceiling above you? All right, take one more good roll of the ball and then put the ball off to the side for a second. Fingertips, heels of the hands on the curve of the ribs. Fingertips are going to try to slide right up and underneath the curve of the ribs. You're going to push your fingers up and under as far as they'll comfortably go. Lengthen the back of your neck. Dorsiflex your feet. Hold that dorsiflexion. Now inhale and fill up your rib cage like you're trying to breathe the curve of your ribs into the heels of your hands. Front, back, side to side. So we want a nice big 360 breath. Exhale, let the fingers excursion a little further underneath your rib cage. Inhale, fill up your rib cage, big 360 breath, front to back, side to side. Exhale, soft belly, let your air go, fingers excursion further up underneath your ribs. All right, last breath. We're going to shoot for a vacuum and use our hands to help find a little excursion if we can. So take a big 360 breath, inhale and fill your rib cage up. And then you exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Take a fake inhalation. Don't let any air come in. Hold your breath. And see if you can use your hands to gently push underneath the rib cage. And then when you're ready, release your air, take your time. And now we're going to flip around. We're going to take balls and they're going to go right into the psoas, and we're going to finish with psoas and then come up to table to find a vacuum. So you're going to take two balls. We're going to go for a 2-for-1 special. So you're going to get those balls. For some of us, think about where those front hip bones are. We either go about 2 inches in or 2 inches in and an inch or so up. So we want to find that there's that nice muscle that straps up and around. It's our hip flexor muscles, but it also can tend towards a little bit of mischief. So we're going to come down, take a second, go one ball at a time, get them roughly symmetrical. Give a little hip slush, make sure that they settle into a nice little sweet spot. So you're in that soft tissue, not on the bony prominences. And then once you've got your way there, if you can, you're going to stack your hands, let your forehead rest, and we're just going to do a light little bend and straighten of the legs. And as you bend and straighten up the legs, if you've got that sweet spot where you're in that nice psoas muscle area, then you might feel a little tension against the balls as you bend, and then a little slack as you release. The next time your knees are in bent position, if it feels good, add just a little touch of windshield wiper action. Take one more moment there. Going back to just that idea about like how we're going to do a little work this week to support the nervous system. That abdominal vacuum can be very supportive to the nervous system, but it's all about finding this sweet spot of coordination where your nervous system feels good enough to let the diaphragm fly up. And then when you get the diaphragm to fly up, it offers that secondary support because it gives this nice fascial stretch, and it has this whole nervous system conversation, stretches the fascia around the heart, the lungs, the diaphragm, the rib cage, all around the digestive organs, and the pelvic floor, which is all deeply connected to the vagus nerve, which wanders all the way down from the base of the skull to the pelvic floor. All right, take one more windshield wiper with the knees, and then we're slowly bringing ourselves up to a tabletop position. Take your time as you gently ease your way up. Knees underneath the hips, wrists slightly ahead of the shoulders, a good spread of your fingers, and imagine that your hands are trying to pull the yoga mat apart. So you get this nice active upper body. Think wide, proud shoulders, no big arch in the back. We want a little bit of that rib cage anchored, nice axial elongation, gazes down at the space between your thumbs or slightly ahead of your fingertips. For all of us who feel good about it, dorsiflex the feet. That puts a little extra bit of touch of tension onto that internal fascial line. So get your wide, proud shoulders, get your feet tucked under, get that nice long spine. Now take a big 360 breath, fill your rib cage up. And then as you exhale, just shoot for soft belly, let your air go. And then when you're ready, do it again. Pull the yoga mat apart, inhale, 360 breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, gently press into the pads of your toes, lengthen your spine, get a little bit more active in the upper body. All right, last breath here. Inhale, big 360 breath. And then you exhale, slow, prepare, swallow, soft belly, close off your nose, mouth, and throat. Take a fake inhalation. Don't let any air come in. Let the diaphragm suction up and hold breath for a moment. And then when you're ready, whoo, release your air. Take a second, maybe butt back to the heels. Just get that little stretch into your low back. And then come up slowly in a soft forward fold, just enough so you feel a little touch of stretch into the backs of your legs, but not too much. Think about like lifting your sitting bones up towards the ceiling versus trying to perfectly straighten your legs. Feel that little touch of positive stress. Hang there for just a moment. And then bend your knees a lot more than you think you need to. Push down strong into your feet. And as you come up, just give a little bounce just to kind of move all that lymph, move that connective tissue so it feels alive and ready to go. Shake out the Etch-a-Sketch, clear your screen for an amazing day. I bow to you. You guys are amazing.